Welcome to my channel. It's me. And today we're counting down our list of 5 haunting truths about Osiris, Lord of the Egyptian underworld. Do you want to hear more about the dark history that haunts the modern world? Well, then subscribe for more episodes of Echoes of the Past. 5. He was once a king among the living. When the name Osiris sounds so similar to the word order, it makes sense why he was the god of the underworld. He brought order to the chaos of the afterlife. Before he was the god of the underworld, though, he ruled over the kingdom of Byblos as a mortal man, or at least a mostly mortal man. See, his mother was the immortal goddess Nephthys, so although he had to die one day, he could never truly be gone. His wife, the human princess Isis, gave birth to their son, Horus, who would later become the first pharaoh of Egypt. So Osiris's bloodline mixed the power of the gods with the limitations of mankind. Number 4, torn apart, betrayed. Osiris might have been immortal, but even gods can be murdered. And his murder was a gruesome one. The story goes that Osiris's brother Set wanted the throne of Byblos for himself. So he built a beautiful golden coffin and challenged his brother to try to fit inside of it. Whoever could fit inside the smallest space would become the ruler of Byblos. Isis knew this was a trap, but she told her husband to go ahead. He was a god, after all, and nothing bad could happen to him. Osiris managed to get inside the coffin, which was shrunk down by magic. Then Set carried the box to the river and let the current take it away. Eventually, it washed up in Byblos, where it was discovered by a cedar tree. The tree absorbed the divine essence of Osiris, becoming a sacred tree. Then Set usurped the throne of Byblos, while Isis went out searching for her husband's body. Number 3, scattered across Egypt. After Osiris was chopped up and thrown into the river, his body parts washed up all over Egypt. In some tellings, Set hunted down Isis, who had to hide each part of her husband's body before he found them. Other times, Set didn't bother looking for them at all. Either way, the pieces of Osiris ended up scattered from north to south along the Nile River. She recovered most of him, including his penis, which was lost forever, apparently. With those remains, she was able to reassemble her husband through forbidden magic. This is because Osiris wasn't supposed to come back as a human. All of the spells and rituals reserved for bringing back the dead were only meant to bring back the Ka, not the physical body. The Ka is the eternal spirit of an individual. It can travel around freely as it's neither tied to the soul nor the body. For Isis to resurrect her husband, she used the Book of the Dead, which contained instructions for rituals that could bring the dead back to life. The only problem was that this magic was reserved only for the gods. So when Isis resurrected Osiris, she broke the laws of nature and earned the title of sorceress. Number 2, he became the first mummy. As soon as Osiris was reassembled, he and Isis did something that would change Egyptian religion forever. They conceived Horus, who would eventually usurp Set and claim the throne of Egypt. But Horus wouldn't be born right away. Osiris's return was only temporary, and he spent most of his time preaching about the afterlife. Apparently, there were a lot of questions at the time about what happened after you died. And Osiris was the guy to answer them. He taught people about the scales of justice, which their hearts would be weighed against at the Hall of Truth, where they would be judged by Anubis, the god whose face was a jackal. If their heart, which represented their inner being, was heavier than the feather of justice, they were sent to the underworld. If not, they were allowed to move on to the field of reeds, where they lived happily ever after. Isis helped spread these teachings by writing down everything Osiris said in a book called the Book of the Dead, which everyone could use when the time came for them to pass into the afterlife. Osiris also established the cult of Osiris, which led to the creation of the first mummies. Even though he wasn't the first Egyptian to be mummified, Osiris became known as the first mummy because his body was preserved intentionally and for religious purposes. Even after he passed on to the afterlife again, of course, the Book of the Dead became popular among the Egyptians, especially during the New Kingdom when people started to fear the afterlife more. During the New Kingdom, death was seen as a terrible thing, a fate that everybody feared, especially because of the unknown. People thought that death might mean your journey didn't end after all, but that you were condemned to wander the earth as a ghost. So people started getting mummified as a way of containing their spirits. And everybody had a Book of the Dead buried with them so they could navigate the afterlife correctly. Number 1. He judges every soul that dies. After spreading the word about the afterlife and starting the trend of intentional mummification, Osiris finally kicked the bucket for good. That's because Horus eventually defeated Set, avenging his father's death and reclaiming the throne of Egypt. Osiris wasn't finished, though. Because he was the god of the underworld, he had to judge every soul that died until the end of time. To help him do this, his followers built temples to him across the country, such as the Temple of Osiris at Abydos. These temples served as a gateway to the underworld, which is probably why archaeologists have found so many dog burials near them. Dogs were associated with the underworld, so they must have been sacrificed in hopes of making it past the gates. Now, if you wanted to pay homage to Osiris, you could also visit any of the numerous statues of him in temples and homes. Sometimes he was depicted with green skin because he was associated with vegetation. Other times he was shown holding symbols of the afterlife, such as the crook and flail, or with his hands placed above his groin in a gesture that symbolized fertility and virility. He was even worshipped under many different names, such as Amun, Ra, and Ptah, and each name signified a different aspect of his personality. You know, for a god of death, he sure got around. Now it's time to hear from you. What other haunting truths about Osiris did we miss? Let us know in the comments below, and while you're down there, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode of Echoes of the Past. You can also check out more of my work right here. Until next time, see you!